Hey there, Magic One. Welcome to your tarot reading for the week. I really hope that you are staying blessed. I've just called in to say a big hi and to let you know what I've been working on. I'm actually currently chipping away at the March monthly tarot readings. Yes, chipping away because it does take a lot of time. So I'll be releasing them across the next 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully 2. So keep an eye out for your sign. There's also extended versions of those available this time round. So if the message really resonates for you and perhaps you don't want to get a personal reading, you can, for a very small donation, jump into a more deep and clarified version of that reading. So all the details will be in the reading. When you see your sign pop up, you can find that out. If you do want a personal reading or healing, I am available for those, and you'll find the link to my website down below where you can arrange that. The doors are always open to the initiation. That is my immersive Learn Tarot journey. Should you want to really learn to connect more deeply with your own intuition and guide yourself, I'd love to take you on that journey with me. But for now, I am wishing you a week of love and magic. Thanks for joining me for your reading. Let's head across now. Gemini, welcome to your tarot reading for February 28th to March the 6th. I hope you're doing really well. Let's see what may be on the cards for you. And can you believe that we're heading into the 3rd month of 2022? It's crazy, it's going so fast. Anyway, let's jump into your reading. This week I have got the Sacred Creators Oracle, Moonology Oracle, the Moonchild and Starchild Tarot, and the Radiant Rider-Waite. So it really does seem that change is on the horizon for you, Gemini. So I'll start over here. We'll see how the reading unfolds. I don't really sort of look too much into it until I just let it play out. So I've got integrate your knowing and changes. And you can see here that the fox is the little symbol on the card here. So, you know, the fox is all about that animal instinct, that intuition. So it's really saying integrate your knowing. You already have a feeling intuitively that change is upon you. It's time to integrate that now by actually taking action, actually making it a reality. Changes is here. So it feels like change is upon you. And it is now time to actually take the steps towards that. I'm quite a big believer in, you know, unless we really take that inspired action, then things won't change and we get more of the same, which is absolutely fine if you are loving where you're at. But if you are wanting a different reality, you know, Gemini, you will need to shift things up. It says you're good enough. That's our Moonology card. And this is interesting too, because this is the energy of deservingness and understanding, or maybe shifting your belief to the fact that you actually deserve abundance. You actually deserve, you know, to be on purpose. You deserve, you know, passion. You deserve a great relationship. You actually deserve, you know, to really be having a high vibrational life. And it's funny because so many of us, whether we're aware of it or not, are kind of running beliefs of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, which we can, you know, have picked up from childhood. And that can really impact, you know, what we're actually magnetizing, you know, towards us. It feels like you're really, really, really close to this change. And it's about understanding that you are worthy of having all those things I've just discussed. And therefore, you know, taking the action to make the changes. Sometimes we kind of think, well, this is my lot, right? So I won't take the action. This is as good as it gets. This is as good as a relationship gets. It's comfortable here. But the cards are saying, no, you are good enough for more. You know, it's time to take that step. Page of Pentacles is here as the lead tarot energy. This is very much the beginning of receivership, okay? I always see the pentacle here as, you know, the solid form of what you've really been wanting to manifest, or what you've known is coming. And, you know, it really is just an arm's length here. So it might be just one action, one step away. This is the beginning of the new becoming tangible, becoming solid. It is the Pentacle, so it could be, you know, change in job. It could be new money or opportunity in the workplace. It could be a new commitment or contract, you know, shoring up, becoming firm. The Eight of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck, and you know, this can mean it's operating in your work or job, career, finance sector for many of you. But other than that, this is really a card of doing the excuse me, I'm not really closing up all of a sudden, of doing the work. And it's through doing the work, taking the action, carving out the path, that's when we actually see the shift. That's when we see the positive changes. Your angel number here today is 888. And that is such a number of abundance. So I really feel that you are trying to, you know, build abundance, whether it's an abundance of love or abundance of money, abundance of success in your life. 8 is also associated with mastery and power. So we have to get mastery over sometimes our shadow beliefs that tell us that we're not good enough in order to step into our power. We've also got triple kings in this reading, which says it's time to step into your authority. King energy is stepping up into leadership of your life, discerning what's going on and taking powerful action to drive yourself forward and an empire build in your life. Okay, so jumping in here, Gemini, recent past, 8 of Wands, 2 of Swords, Judgment is the biggie here. So it feels like you are at final judgment in a situation, right? You kind of know change is coming, I feel. And you'll always notice in this Judgment card in the Rider-Waite, these people are launching out of these really small, dark spaces. And I always say it's the devil energy in those spaces. And I say that because these are constrictive, tight, little dark spaces that, for one, are not allowing the light in, right? You know, high vibrational energy, love, you know, healing, all that kind of thing. But also when we're being kept small and kept constrictive, you know, we're not liberated, right? We're not free, and we're definitely not, you know, living our best life. So I feel that there's a situation in your life, whether it's your job or your relationship. You know me, everyone, I just sort of keep these quite open, these readings. It's up to you to relate it to your life area. That you kind of awoken to the fact that you've had enough of playing small, or you've had enough of holding yourself back, or not receiving, you know, truly, you know, everything that you do deserve in your life. So with Judgment, you could have had a wake-up call. You could have had some kind of wake-up call or circumstance that's kind of like brought that to, you know, the imminent action stage. And with Judgment, the question is like, this is the last call. You have free will, so you can stay where you are. You'll get a similar result, but I feel like you are desiring more for your life. And if so, we then move this across to completion, the World, right? The last major arcana, where we close out a cycle. Now, with the 8 of Wands here, you could have had some kind of communication. It could have been like a download or a message that's come through intuitively for you, or the 8 of Wands can be some kind of, you know, foreshadowing of a new opportunity coming in, right? With Ace of Wands is also in this reading. Now, I say that because so many times, you know, we will stay in a situation that's not fulfilling until something better comes along. Now, that doesn't always happen for us, but it can do. Now, that usually creates somewhat of a tower, because, for example, if we're in a relationship and then all of a sudden that person comes along that we, you know, have mad chemistry with and just really want to move towards, then we actually need to go through the dissolving of a connection, and that other person will find out generally that the catalyst was someone else, and that can really throw up many different issues, especially if you're splitting assets and things like that, through the hurt that involves. If we are wanting to change job or career, and you know, we have kind of waited until something else has come along, or waited until things get really bad and stressful there, then, you know, again, we might need to end a contract. We might need to have a really difficult, you know, conversation. We might need to leave part way when we'd kind of committed to it, you know, a project or something like that, and we feel bad because of the accountability. So you know, life, I feel in the tarot, is really this guide that helps us move with the universal energies before we kind of get to those sticking points, although, you know, sometimes it's unavoidable. So you could have received a message or an opportunity that's put you at the crossroads, or this could just be your own intuitive knowing. The Two of Swords really says that you're weighing things up here. You're weighing things up. It's a stay or go situation. Intuitively, you're feeling it to go, but you are feeling blinded somewhat in this situation, maybe by your emotions, maybe by that accountability that we have really talked about. And you know, sometimes you do need to kind of protect your heart. You need to be the emperor who has that, you know, that protection under his armor about blocking the emotions a little bit, right? I know there's other people involved, we can't always do that, but in order to make a good strategic decision forward, that's what the King of Swords would do, who's at the center of this reading. And Gemini, the Eight of Wands for me as a reader is a card of quick and swift change, but it's change that changes everything, basically. Like, it's a turning of the tables change. I always say this is like my specific reading of this card is doing a 180 in your life. Like, until now you were heading in one direction, and then all of a sudden you're going completely in the opposite way. And other people might say, oh gosh, well, you know, I never saw that coming, or didn't know you were into that, or didn't know you wanted to do that job, or, you know, make that kind of move. But you've always known. Integrate your knowing, right? And now it's time to integrate it, because you might have been going along with something that wasn't in alignment for you. So this week we've got, in the focus energy, we've got Death, King of Swords, and we have the Ace of Wands. So we have Scorpio energy, we have Aquarian energy, right? And this is so interesting. This is highly transformative energy. It's the kind of energy that transforms your life. Scorpio, of course, is a highly like transformational death and rebirth energy, and the King of Swords being Aquarian energy is kind of this eccentric, innovative energy. So it feels like what you're moving towards, it backs up that 180 theme, where you are shifting in a different direction, which may seem odd for others around you, but it feels absolutely right to you. Now, in order to kind of embrace the new, which is so close, this Ace of Wands here, so it may or may not have come in yet. You know, the cards are really saying to get to that new growth, to get to that new potential, then we do need to go through an ending. And that's a bit of a no-brainer. You know, when one door closes, another one opens. Sometimes we close the door first, which creates energetic space for the new to come in. Or sometimes the new comes in, and that's the catalyst for closing the door. Death says it's time to surrender to something, you know, ending here. Changes are upon you. I also see that sun energy there as that Page of Pentacles that's rising on the horizon. It says, you know, there is a positive, happy change. It's so close, but it is going to require you to clear the slate in order to allow it in. The King of Swords here is about taking a step back and seeing the big picture. It can be like a hindsight energy where we kind of look back and connect all the dots and understand, you know, why we've arrived at this moment and what we need to do now. Maybe to have an honest, direct communication, maybe to sever ties, maybe to hold a boundary here in order to embrace this Ace of Wands. And of course, you may be dealing with either an Aquarian or a Scorpio. It might be that person that you're either ending things with, or who is actually giving you the offer of the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is some kind of incredible new offer that feels in alignment. Okay, we talked about moving away from what you were just going through the motions with into something that is much more like spicy, like sexy in some kind of way to you. Like it lights you up from the inside out, and it's like a no-brainer. Like, it's a no-brainer because you know that it's part of you inside anyway. So in the outcome, Gemini, I've got the Eight of Swords, I have the King of Wands, and I've got the King of Pentacles. So we have Leo, we have Taurus. Now, what also happens when we're facing this kind of change is the old Eight of Swords comes up, and this is the energy of the mind getting the better of us. We can feel guilty about who we need to leave behind, guilty about those accountabilities that we feel like we just can't leave. Like, if it's in the workplace, it's like, I can't leave in the middle of this. But I'll tell you one thing that I have learned, and that is everybody is replaceable, and they will cope and they will manage without you. in a relationship, of course, where you can feel, you know, really bad for the other person as well. But, you know, this is just a self-imposed prison, right? Just like the one up here, you know, when you felt like you were locked in, it was really just because you were choosing that. So with the Eight of Swords, we want to really tune into the intuition, because we see someone who's blinding themselves again. It might be like, this is too hard, I'm just going to put back on the blindfold and I'll stay where I am. That's fine if you choose that. That's absolutely okay, but you will get more of the same, and you have to be, you have to own that. You know, then we can't slip into victim mentality and we go, well, you know, this is as good as it gets, you know, nothing good happens to me in my life, you know, I'm not getting the abundance I receive. If we choose to stay where we are, we can't slip into victim because we've chosen it and we've chosen to put the blindfold back on. Instead, we should be the King of Wands, and the King of Wands is vision and discernment, right? It's like, I've seen that this is an amazing opportunity, and therefore I'm feeling the fear and I am releasing myself from what is holding me back from that. Also with the King of Wands, I always say this with this card, it's this kind of coming out energy. The King of Wands is like, you know, look at like the bright colors, like either the red hair or the red headdress, and it's like, you know, the fancy green shoes. It's like unapologetically all of him or her. And I kind of feel that, you know, how I talked about the 180, and this is something that other people might perceive as being very different for you, but you've known it's you. You're now kind of like stepping out into the world as that, and that's going to make you feel so much more integrated and so much more at peace within yourself. And when we are operating from that place, that's when abundance follows, right? King of Pentacles, somebody who is, you know, inviting success and quality and luxury into their lives. So there's a lot of power in this reading, a lot of, it's really saying if you focus on this change and call it in and integrate, you know, your energy with it, you can become the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is someone who's taken that one Pentacles, one opportunity, and created an empire with it, created a whole new reality. And you are good enough to receive that. Running out of time on the camera. Can we close it out? The Lovers. Yeah, and not only that, but like this feels like moving into peace and harmony. This is Gemini energy. The Lovers is also a card of choice. It's one of the biggest cards of choice around matters of the heart. So as a closing card, I'm getting the message, the choice is yours. Stay where you are, get what you've always gotten, and that might be fine for you, but do the work and step into the unknown, and, you know, it could be a whole new reality of abundance, okay? The Lovers, before it was a card of just soulmates, it was one of the biggest cards of choice around matters of the heart. So Gemini, the choice is yours. I'm going to leave it there, Gemini, before the camera cuts out at the 20-minute mark. I hope you enjoyed this channeled tarot message and that it gave you some guidance and insight for the way forward. Do keep in mind it is a general reading for the collective, which means it will not always be your message and it's not intended to be. But drop me a comment if you are called to share, because I do love hearing how these play out in your life and how you interpret them and apply them to your own situation. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. That way you'll know when I post new videos, and it's also a great energy exchange between us because it supports me in my channel, as does when you like, share and comment on the video. It's been a pleasure to read your cards, Gemini. See you back here for another one next week. Bye for now.